been a while since I went live. If that keeps happening, I'm not gonna do the live. It's been a while since I went live. Sorry, I've been having internet connection problems. Usually, Facebook and my lives are like that. But I wanted to talk about the people on Facebook and their comments, cause like I have a YouTube channel. I just reached 1,000 subscribers. I want to say I appreciate all my subscribers, all the people that listen to me ramble, all the people that watch my little dumb videos. They're full of knowledge, but they're just YouTube videos and Facebook videos. But I've been seeing people come into my comments and they're arguing, and it's like Mordiel says on his channel and Big Judah says on their channel, bro, y'all on some Eurocentric nonsense. If your ancestors who came here, most of you, your ancestors came here, believed themselves to be taking a pilgrimage, right? Why would you believe the people that came to this grand holy land and started enslaving people? And that's the truth, because whether you want to claim black people are the Native Americans or not, slavery started with the Native Americans. Whether you want to accept that that's us or not, that's your problem. I'm here in PA, somewhere out here in PA. I'm sure you guys could probably see the beautiful rolling hills in the background and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to a lady that downstairs. She speaks like 3 different languages. Gentile lady. She speaks like 3 different languages. She actually added my YouTube. I don't call people's names out. I'm not doxing people or releasing personal information or even their name on here. Very intelligent lady. Very intelligent lady. I didn't even have to bring this up to her, because when I started to get into history with her, she started coming back and forth with me about how we're indigenous to the Americas, and I had to play dumb to see what she said, and she goes no, but she didn't, she's thinking she's Greek, and what I released on my Facebook, on my YouTube, a Planet of the Apes video where we get into the meaning of Greek symbology and how that represents Esau and the whole Planet of the Apes and the biblical thing. Definitely, if you guys get a chance, go check it out. It's a video on YouTube titled like Planet of the Apes, biblical references in Black history or something like that. And we get into it because they start branding things with Greek letters, and you can get into what it means to be Greek, and that's Esau. So who I was really talking to is an Edomite. Now, I'm not against her. I'm not against people, but she was very intelligent, and she understood that we're the indigenous people in North America. I don't think she understood the whole Bible term thing, but there's some Gentiles out there that are very woke and intelligent and very capable of understanding this truth. And those who are the people who I believe that God is actually trying to speak to. Those Gentiles. Because, I don't know, maybe their ancestors were, against slavery, or they didn't have nothing to do with it. But there's people here that can't get this and can't see it for various different reasons. A lot of it is just pride. Bro, you try to tell them this because, like, you walk around here and a perfect example. Marijuana is illegal in PA. I was out here smoking it. A group of people I know was smoking it. People came up from the hotel, told us to leave or go, over there because we can't smoke it here. Hotel lady wasn't complaining. She never complained. The people complained at her, and she can't complain at us. Here's what I'm saying. People don't have no right to tell us nothing. Especially with that. Did you know, if you actually get into the writings of the pre-Columbian explorers, and Columbus himself wrote this, that the Native Americans were rolling an herb in tobacco and smoking it? That is our customs. These things are our customs. And I know it seems weird, but I know I'm not just making an excuse for black people to smoke weed, but that's very true. That's why they made it illegal. Because, one, you're the major workforce in America. Whether they admit it or not, you are, because you're the major prison population. Why they make weed illegal? There's multiple things. There's 2 main reasons to me. And there's another reason which I guess I'll get into, but that's a little bit more esoteric, but I'll get into it. The first reason that everyone cites, which is not the most popular reason weed is illegal, is because paper. Hemp products would threaten to put the paper industry out of business. The second is like 2 in 1. One, slavery was ending. and they needed an excuse to lock people up. So they were using these substances that the Native Americans use and made them illegal so they can control them, distribute them, and put you in jail for them. Another one is marijuana itself is good for your health, and it can replace a lot of these medicines they put out here for different things. They know that. A whole nother thing is, what was the third one? Oh yeah, the more metaphysical one. The more metaphysical one is, I've been reading into it, and apparently what was found under Solomon's temple. Now, if you read my content, Solomon's temple was here, was marijuana and some mixture of monatomic gold, from what I hear. Some kind of mixture, and I believe it because people will go, oh, marijuana is a drug, and this is how disconnected Christians are. The Bible talks about these plants having medicines and different things in them. Why would all these things be drugs? There's stuff God put here for us. It's just that, some people want to take like the coca plant, which by itself is pretty harmless. And, you can chew on the coca leaves and get the benefits and various different things. If you super concentrate it, it will kill you. And that's what they do here. They super concentrate these drugs. And now they're no longer in natural forms. And then, of course, we know the pharmaceutical company also has an agenda. That's why they wanted to lock the indigenous people up. That's why they criminalized all these substances. Hey, Dawn, I see you there. Shout out. I love you. You always check out all my content. They always criminalize all these substances because, one, they wanted to lock the indigenous people of North America up, especially with the weed thing. They knew weed is from North America. They knew our ancestors were rolling herbs and blunts before they got here. They knew tobacco is from America. That's why they control all these substances. If you look it up, even a lot of the legends of Native Americans, a lot of it's been culturally appropriated by people who claim to be Native Americans. But a lot of the legends of Native Americans, they talk about these substances and how they would use them and the different things, and some plants talking to them when they ate this mushroom. And they made sure they criminalized all that because, one, the mushrooms and these different compounds that they've made illegal, the psychotropics, right? Not the psychotropics, the psychedelics, right? They want you to take psychotropics. They want you to take psych medicine. They want to tell you have a mental problem. But the psychedelics, they've known for a long time, can alter brain chemistry, and it can put you in different fields of perception. Now, if you know about string theory, you know that everything on this planet is frequency, and it's a vibration. So when you eat these substances, you're altering your vibration. And everyone wants to go, oh, it's bad, it's for the worst. No. I mean, it can be bad. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, you don't eat a billion mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. But the problem is, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? Shout out to all the people that subscribe to me and follow me. Remember, go check out my YouTube. Please subscribe to me there. I'm always there. But all these substances that they add to the or that are in existence that are put here by God are pretty much healthy for you and super non-deadly until man gets a hold of them and concentrated them. Opium comes from the poppy plant. It has medicinal purposes everywhere as a natural painkiller, right? Men super concentrated, it's bad. The only thing they can't do that with is weed. So what do? They're like, we need to make money off of this substance, even though we can't because we grow it. That's why the pharmaceutical company have all these agendas to make medicines out of Yeah, I'm still with them. That's why the pharmaceutical companies have all these agendas to make substances synthetic. Because, one, a lot of people already knew this. They can't patent natural things. I want to talk about this, but I can't because I'm going to upload this to my YouTube channel, and they'll take the video down if I mention this. So, in order to save me having to edit this out, I'm just gonna skip over that. I'm just gonna say this: that thing they gave people and made everybody take before they could go back to work and they reopen society, that thing is a modification thing, and they have modified you and they're now claiming to own the DNA of you. Yep, it's that deep. And in case you see this later and you wanna, cause people be strolling in my feed and dropping little one hitters, y'all all go ahead and do that. Y'all all free to say and do as you want. I'm not a tyrant. I don't believe in tyranny. I do believe in recompense and justice, though. I do believe in that. But y'all don't ever want to get into conversation, actually. Like, all these people coming in troll, disprove any of that stuff. I mean, if you're going to come in my group, and you're going to be a part of my group, because I'm going to share this to my group too, which is Hidden History and Biblical Mystery on Facebook. If you're going to be a part of my group, and you're going to be, in here, don't come into my group to learn about Egypt and the ancient connections and all that stuff, and then when we're telling you, like, oh, the real interpretations of the Bible and how it all ends, you go, you're making this about race. No, we're not. You guys have, your history made this about race, all right? Everyone wants to get into my comments and say things like, oh, Jesus doesn't see color. Jesus doesn't see color. Then why'd y'all paint him white? Okay? And the whole Christian ideology right now does not reflect the last 400 years of history with the Aborigines in North America here. Like, you can't be like, it's all about love and this and that, and I'm the one that's a racist and a false prophet and all this stuff, because that's what they get in my comments and say. You've probably seen a lot of it. That's what they get in my comments and say. You've probably seen a lot of that, a whole lot of that. But then I'm like, well, where's your proof? And they're like, well, we don't have to. So what's your issue? They must be because they think they're white, that they could just say whatever they want, because people that have been living on this land are all puffed up in the pride of their hearts, and they think things that's not true. They're thinking that they're earning stuff. Really, they're taking advantage of the Aborigines here. Yeah, they just be trying to troll. They don't be having any information. And I'm fine with people criticizing me. I don't mind it. But come on, bro. At least have some kind, like, I like to be informational with the criticism. Like, you'll see me troll people, but I'm like, in the Christian page, like, sharing some passages from the book of Isaiah, and they're going crazy, and I'm like, I'm just sharing a Bible verse. Well, why is it so disturbing? Oh, because it talks about people being enslaved and those who were slaves being, because it talks about that. That's why you're offended. Because they don't really interpret the Bible. I tried to get in, I'm on TikTok too, in case anybody wants to know. It's HHBM, which is Hidden History and Biblical Mystery. It's shorter because I couldn't make the title that long because the YouTube restriction, but the TikTok restriction. But I got into TikTok a little bit more. They made it so you can make longer content. Yeah, they don't be saying nothing. They just be saying whatever. But I got into TikTok so I can make longer content, and then I link my TikTok to my YouTube, because I'm trying to grow this whole thing. And right on my TikTok, a lot of my videos that share fine on YouTube, I can't share on TikTok. They don't allow me to have access to the feed. I think that's because the U.S. government and those freaking so-called people that are of the synagogue of Satan mentioned in the Revelations, because I can't even say that word anymore. They restrict my account all the time. Can't even say that. It's like I can't say nothing no more, Those people complained enough, and then you get a restriction. I forgot what I was just talking about. Oh, yeah. Because how they censored me on YouTube, and they already took a couple of my videos down. I'm sure nobody has noticed, because when they do that, it's just down. So I don't really know, it's hard to even get up here and talk on live, because I like to be blatant and just say things. But when I start saying things, you got these freaking soy boy ass so-called Americans, so-called Republicans, so-called Democrats, so-called people that believe in free speech, right? And all these principles they claim, and then they get in your comments when you say something that makes them uncomfortable and be like, First of all, they be saying some racist shit, and it's not even good racism. Like a good racist joke will make me laugh, right? They're not even good at that, and it's like you guys gotta step it up. Is this our opposition? Like, come on, like, and you see, like, I'm not the only one on the internet kicking this information. There is thousands of us. There's people with bigger channels than me, bigger information than me. Like, this is my second Facebook profile. I had one that used to have 5,000 followers. They took it down, unfortunately. So, I'm just trying to cruise and kind of stay under the radar a little bit, grow my YouTube channel, get that up. Then I really won't care if they take my Facebooks down because I can always make a new one. I just got monetized on Facebook here. So, if you guys share my stuff, you'll help me grow. You'll help me expand. You'll help this critical message get out there. Whether you believe it's true or not, some people share just to laugh. And I'm like, laugh it up, bro. We're going to see who laughs. Because some people don't know, bro. I always said this. It ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun. So, there's this guy on TikTok. I was trying to get in. He let me in his live, right? I was trying to get my phone to record it so I could, get the moment I wanted, but I couldn't do it in time. But I knew when I started telling him, because he's over here talking about the Tower of Babel and how we got to reset society and how scripture is what we got to base it off of and all this stuff. And he loved talking like that. So when I got in there, I was like, bro, so what about the Israelites? And he was like, what about the history of North America? What about all this stuff? He didn't even want to talk no more. He kicked me off of his live. But that's the reaction I wanted because I knew. Because I started telling him, no, you're not about scripture. You're not about anything biblical. And you can't even quote scripture. Yeah, I'm probably going to stay live for a while. I'm going to actually upload this to YouTube as a live. So, charge your phone, bro. Feel me? I'm going to upload this to YouTube as a live. So when you're watching this on YouTube and you see me talking to people that's not really commenting, that's because this was recorded on Facebook and then uploaded to YouTube and streamed as a live. So you understand. Yeah, but if anybody else wants to get up in here, I'll even let people on. Hey, there's plenty of people that be in my comments that follow me right now and that don't follow me but be on my page saying whatever to me and don't want to get up here and debate me. Like, come on. If you guys are so well versed in scripture and history and geography and science and all that stuff you claim you are, then you should be able to get up here and speak your truth. But if you can't, you better just stay over there trolling, bro. Because we don't lie over here. When have we ever been about lying about the real history of anything? And I be telling people it's just the 100% truth. It doesn't matter how offended you get. People follow Eurocentrism. It's some kind of a disease, and they follow it like it's Twitter or something, you know what I mean? And it follows them like a disease, and this has gone around and infested the world. So when your Bible is talking about if you want to come on, I'll definitely bring you on, though, bro. I'll bring anybody on here, bro. I'm usually up here talking about myself. All these conversations that we have are great for viral moments. I used to never really be about that, just to be about putting out information, but now I recognize the game you have to play to get your information out there. So now I just play that game a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's a rainy day out there. We're out here in the hills of PA. Out here, we're right next to Williamsburg. When we stayed in Williamsburg, I did some research on that town. Figured out that was a sundown town. And then I'm in this hotel called the Genetti, right? And you guys look this up because it's 100-year history supposedly. Of course, the whole town is old world in the mountains and hills of PA. An old world town, grand cathedrals, grand town hall, castle town hall, all that stuff. When I get paid, I'm gonna go probably make a video about that and just show you guys, because over there it was amazing. The architecture is just so beautiful. You can't make it up And then when you look, you can see all the mud flooded stuff in there, and they got this grate. Like when you walk up to the building, you look in the grate, and in the grate is like a whole nother sidewalk and city under there because they got it all ready. There's doors that go up and down in the building. I just wanted to show you guys that because that's the things like you can see that stuff a lot of places. They haven't completely repurposed everything and put it up. If you were around, or maybe you're a carryover from my last Facebook page that came and found me again, you would know I used to make videos about that kind of stuff all the time. The mud flood conspiracy is true as shit, my boy. True as shit. Now the problem is, how do you even show this stuff to people if they have been seeing it their whole life and they never ever could recognize it? How? Like it's hard to but if you I'm reading something else on my feed. It's getting confusing. But if you actually do your history and look at your and actually do your research, it's all very very plain. I mean, there's a multiple lanes of real science that can lead you back to this truth of creation in America being the Holy Land. There's multiple, like tree science. You would think that tree science would be just something dumb, but we know that a tree starts marking its age since the time it goes in the ground. So if a tree starts marking its age since the time it goes in the ground, why do we have some of the oldest growth forests in North America and South America? Some of the biggest trees in the world. Lebanon, right in there in California and Oregon. That's Lebanon, guys. That's New Albion. That's Albion. You know what I'm saying? When you see those old maps, they go, oh, it was a mistake. And all these cartographers made the same mistake year after year, century after century, forever. You know? And now they're like, no, well, yeah, it was just a mistake. And they made that mistake over and over again. And I've said this a lot of times, like, none of that stuff you see on those old maps is not real. When you see a sea monster drawn on a map, that's because there's a freaking sea monster there. These cartographers weren't children in school doodling in their home book. They didn't make mistakes repeatedly over and over again, multiple of them throughout the centuries. You have been lied to. You have been deceived. They have turned the world upside down. They have told you that you were in the West when you were in the East. And you bought it. And we're trying to tell you the truth, and you still don't want to believe it. But what you should believe is all these natural disasters. Because look, no matter where this world goes, because your rejection of the truth and the God and destruction of the Jews for all this time, which is us, you're going to be judged. And the only safe spot is actually right next to us. But they can't even stand us. So they, that's what's really going on here. Like, look at what's going on in Europe and those other countries. They're getting hit twice as hard as this country. And the only reason why this country is not being hit by natural disasters so bad is because a majority of his people are here. And he will even destroy his people who are wicked. So you're not completely safe there either. And this is how deep it is, bro. Y'all think those natural disasters are a joke, man? No, it's the end of a age. It's the end of the age of Pisces, the age of ignorance, the age of blind faith. And it's the beginning of the age of Aquarius. And this has symbolic meaning. A lot of people will say astrology and the Bible shouldn't be mixed, but if you really understand the Bible, you'll understand, like, God makes references to astrology and Pleiades and things like that. And the church taught you that was all witchcraft, because there's actually a power in this that they don't want, that they take advantage of, that they want you to have advantage of, right? So what do? Like, anybody on Big Judah's channel, when he was looking at there was an old book he was reading about who the Catholic Church was hunting down. They named the book like something about witchcraft. It was crazy, but the book really wasn't about like summoning demons or anything like that. The book was talking about how the Catholic Church hunted down Mohammedans, what they call Moors, right? And Jews. So that's Muslims. Mohammedan is someone who follows the teachings of Muhammad. We know the majority of the Muslims in the world are black people or people of color, right? Indigenous peoples. And then we know the majority of Moors, the Moranos, and all those people they were saying are black people, right? And then we know the Jews are really black people. So, right then and there. But you see, like, this is how it is. We kind of split into, like, all these different little factions and things like that after the destruction of Jerusalem. And different facets rose up that became this and that. And they destroyed all of them. And then they took their place. Then they said this nation is going to be where Akkad is. And they go to Iran and all these other places. And these countries all took deals where they're all tied in getting money from the United States to pretend like they're these nations. That's the truth. That's the truth. And it's so deep that you could drown in it. And what's really going on with the Middle East, because that's what it really is a bloody distraction killing floor where, like, it's like a movie scene, but you know, you could get killed as a background. Like, if you're a background extra, you could get hit with a missile. You see what I'm saying? And that's all to stop them from losing the golden goose over here by distracting the mass public. And especially to keep you from understanding what prophecy is, because the understanding of these things fully spells the end of their system. Their end of their Orwellian nightmare they got going on here. That you think you're free, but you're not. Like, even us, when you're... people get offended because I'm pro-black and I talk about... But it means something different to black people than it does to white people. Because y'all are coming from the standpoint of this land is great and my ancestors conquered it. And we're coming from the standpoint is, damn, this was our land and you fucking stole it. You see what I'm saying? And this is why we don't click up and meet up so much. Because how we going to resolve that? Just tell me how we resolve that. The only way this is going to be resolved is if one group completely disappears. They already tried that, and they tried that with us. There was a whole Holocaust here we have been through. And ongoing Holocaust here we're going through. That's why they try hard to lock us in prison. One dude argued against me. He said, black people commit more crimes than any other person. I was like, than any other group in America. I was like, well, yeah, but your guys are Europeans. You came from over there and told us who we were and told us what we can do in our land and took, you know what I mean? And then you decided what was criminal or not. And you say that prostitution is a jailable offense, which we say, you know, that's between them and God. You say that drug dealing, to lock drug dealers up. But that's the funny part. When it was us in the 80s, they just threw us in jail. Now they got all these programs and all this shit, and they got methadone clinics where you can go and get clean drugs and clean needles and all this shit. And when it was us, they just threw us in jail. But now, like, this whole drug problem they started is flowing back on them and their children. And now they want to have all these programs, right? And now, like, people might say something hateful to them now. So now they got hate speech laws. Where were they? Where were those hate speech laws 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago? Where were those hate speech laws at the beginning of this country when y'all robbed us for all the wealth of the land? And that's a wealth. That's a lot of wealth. We're talking about a lot of wealth. As the aboriginals of this nation, we can tell you there certainly is a lot of wealth here. See? But we can't reconcile these differences with most of them. Not all of them, because some of them can listen and are capable of listening. Most of them are just, bro, you start bringing up your plight, and they go, he's a nigger. And that's what they go in their head, and they don't listen to you, because they're like, oh, he just wants a handout, he just wants this and that. Well, there's going to come a time where the shoe is going to be on the other foot, and that time is approaching quick. That's why in Revelations it says the time of this nation will not be prolonged. See, the problem is understanding. The more people that understand this, and this is why I made this channel, the more people that are understanding this is causing a quickening of these events. And this is all prophesized. Like when it says that God will pour his spirit out on the world, and it says like your old men will dream dreams and your young men will prophesy will prophesy. That's what's going on right now. That's what we're doing right now. And you know, there's fake dreamers and revelators, and there's always those people, and usually there's some personal gain behind it. I'm not gonna lie, I am making a bit of personal gain off monetizing my channel, but I'm supplementing my income because I work a job that doesn't pay me. But I have not changed up my message at all. Even though I know if I pushed a typical Christian doctrine, that would be suitable for the Facebook algorithm to push me more, and the Google algorithm to push me more. But I have not. I have not bowed down to that. And then look, I know because they'll be recommending ideas to me, and it'll be like the red heifer in Israel. Make a video about the red heifer in Israel. What? Like them people trying to do a purification ritual when they're unpure, covered in the blood of the Palestinians who aren't really the Palestinians? Because that's not really Palestine. You get what I'm saying? But they over here doing a purification ritual and building a third temple and all this nonsense. See, they got a movie set, a Disney World movie set going on there, and the news just covers it. It's the same thing with the space exploration crap. It's the same exact thing. But it's prophesied that we put it into this. And that's what they're afraid of. That's why they've always tried to keep our numbers down. That's why they've always tried to call us or keep us imprisoned. Or that's why the Bible says, like, oh, his people are hid in prison houses. And it's not just black people, because a lot of people who are in prison, who are all different races, God will fuck with way more than any of these people running things and locking people up and making money off their labor. Or anybody indirectly benefiting from that, living a carefree life, who has no knowledge because they don't want to know. A lot of people don't want to know. They're scared to know the truth. It hurts them. It hurts their soul. It's like a knife. Like I can see it in their demeanor. I never thought I'd be so good at determining someone's like inner monologue. It's like I'm like, oh yeah, that hurt you just by your facial expression. And all I said was all I read was a Bible verse. But you understand, like the truth hurts, bro. Oh, someone's commenting. Peace, fam. Oh, Will's watching. Peace, bro. It's James Young, yo. Shout out, bro. Shout out to all y'all. The truth hurts, doesn't it, bro? But it feels great for us. I watched a couple videos where the pastors are out there all at once trying to save face now after they collected all that money, pretending to be us, pretending to give a shit about the poor or anybody but themselves. They're out here like, oh, the black people, they're God's people, and this and that. Oh, you ain't know? What about the land? What about that? They don't want to talk about that. See, but it's all gonna go so bad. It's already going so bad. Look at the nation, bro. It's all falling to shit. It's all falling to shit in a handbasket. You got the president, which I seen that. You guys seen his ear? That nigga faked his assassination. Now maybe the second one was a little bit realer, but that shit was fake. The dude's ear is fine. What kind of shit is that? But then I'm like, bro, what was going on at that time that they wanted us not to see? And then all I could think of was on my algorithm and in my YouTube indicators, that whole America is Egypt thing was blowing up. It was going viral. And then what they do, they have these big media events. Trump got assassinated. Kamala Harris eats some fries. Oh, she cackled, she laughs. Oh, she's black. Oh, this and that. Let's all watch. Let's all be a part of this nonsense that don't get us nothing. Bro, they're scared. That's all it is. And they got to keep you. They got to keep something to keep you. Watch this. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Let's argue about this. Look at Diddy. Diddy's out here doing what he's been doing for years. Everybody knows Diddy's been a pedophile. My mom was talking about that when I was a kid and all kinds of stuff. I remember it. Now they want to go grab Diddy. See what I'm saying? Who's next? Jay-Z. They're going to get Jay-Z and his... I'm telling you. Now, but that's what they do. They're grabbing all the black celebrities. Oprah's next. Oprah too. Bro, Oprah should have been grabbed. I'm fine with all these people getting grabbed. They're all scumbags anyway. But that's what they're going to do. They're going to grab all the black celebrities. They're going to try to demonize them first because there is people above them that you don't see and you don't hear that help keep them in power, install them in power, and get them in all these weird networks of occult rituals and child sacrifice and Epstein Island flights that they're all been on. Almost everyone I mentioned in this video pertaining to these people been on flights, and none of them people been arrested yet. That's what I'm saying. They just going down the list slowly at a time. They really don't want to put They really don't want everybody to go, so that's what they're doing. But it's gonna hit the field. It's gonna hit the fan. Watch. I'm telling you, even the internet is gonna be compromised. Like all that stuff they did, there's videos of it. All that stuff is out there. It's gonna be so bad that it's gonna be like the fall of Rome, and it's already getting there. America is falling financially, economically, morally. Even though it never really had the moral high ground, but it never earned it. It stole it and it claimed it because it had falsified history. But that's going away now too. All that stuff is going away. And this is God removing wisdom from the mouth of Edom. If y'all watch that video where I break down Planet of the Apes on my channel, please go check it out. You'll do me a big favor. You check out my content, you watch it. I'm gonna get some money off of it. It's free for you to watch. If you want, you can join and become a member. I only have one member video now, but I'm gonna be doing more exclusive content for the members. It's $4 a month. We'll do that till YouTube takes it down. They probably will. That's how they operate. They did it to Big Levi. I seen it. I seen them do it. So that's probably how it'll happen. But once I actually start making a serious amount of money off of it, they'll be like, no, or you gotta sign this thing that says this and that, and you gotta say this and that. And I hate being controlled, and I hate all these platforms. So when they send me that plaque, I'm going to smash it and hang the smashed plaque on my wall. See if we can get that to go viral. Because they really are YouTube. They're not YouTube anymore. You can't even say what you want on there anymore. TikTok's worse. These people are ridiculous. They just censor you. And they think you don't know. I know because there's videos that I seen. I had 2 Facebook accounts, right? They took my last one down. I was just too brass, right? But I was on it. I was blowing up. People loved it, right? They took my last one down. And I had all the videos I already had uploaded saved. So I started uploading those back to my other Facebook. The first couple ones I uploaded, I knew they were going to go viral because the potential I already knew. The first 3, bam, viral. The rest of them, no. But that's when they caught up. They was like, this is the same guy, and we're just going to downplay his account. But I don't know why. It's all pointless. It's not like controlling algorithms or watching or controlling how many people could see a video or determining this. And that's not going to do nothing, bro. It's over for y'all. It's over. And I know they be watching. I know the government be watching. Bro, how I asked the AI about who owns my channel and it told me. And I never gave it my name or nothing. But there might be some videos with my name under it there. But that's how intensive they train this shit. Like, bro, it knew everything. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, they just build a profile on you. But it's a double-edged sword because it's working 2 ways. The internet, this is the only time the prophecy of the regathering of Israel can be fulfilled. We've confounded already all the false narratives of the media. They're all being confounded every single day. They're being confounded. They're being confused. They don't even know what to say. They got Lizzo out there twerking for you to watch. You know what I'm saying? They got just ridiculous stuff going on, like Jay-Z doing concerts for Hillary Clinton back when that happened. Stuff like that is going on nowadays. You know what I mean? They got Kamala Harris trying to be black. Why does everybody want to be black? We're supposed to be 15% of the population. Not everybody want to be us. Why? Because they see the tea leaves, my boy. They see that. They want to imitate it. They try and get in and say this and that. Kamala Harris' family was slave owners. That's what they were doing in Jamaica. They were slave owners. They were East Indian Company slave owners. And Kamala literally means horrible in their own language. And her mother named her according to her. Because, they want to push that I'm a woman card and I'm a black woman. Like, we're going to vote for somebody because their physical features. Like, we did that with Obama and we learned already. People already learned that, bro. No one's on that wave no more. Nobody's voting for you at all. You can't offer us nothing. They can't. We already got everything coming to us. Just sit and watch this whole kingdom be destroyed. It's all going to be gone overnight. And it's all going to be natural disasters. And the government knows what's coming. That's why they prepared a Space Force. Because they understand that God rides around in a chariot. If you ever read the book from the author of Ancient Aliens on the History Channel, he writes a book called Chariot of the Gods. And you can understand when they talk about people being translated up to heaven and being being taken in a beam of light or a whirlwind. That's what they're referring to. That's really what they're referring to. All this stuff, that's what they're referring to. So, let's say you're Isaiah and God sends a prophet or an angel to go pick you up. He comes and beams you up, takes you out. Boom, just like that. And look, that's why, like, in the Midwest and North America and South America, near the pyramids and all that stuff, and Mexico and all that, they always have these little alien saucer things and all these unexplained events and unexplained events around military bases or during nuclear missile tests or, because they're actually being monitored and all this stuff is under control. And they don't want to admit that. So they started a Space Force because they planned on fighting the Most High. And Revelations tells you that Satan would gather all the governments together for the Battle of Armageddon. We already have the UN. We already have this global Space Force initiative that has multiple nations involved with it. And they're talking about fighting the Most High. That's really all it is. And they show you this because the Most High got smoked with the most powerful government on the planet for what they did to his people and his land. And they know that. And they know. So when they show you movies like Independence Day and they show you that shit, the White House being blown up and all those Gentiles on the roof celebrating the coming of God and he just blows them up, that's what's going on. But they convince you that an alien is these little creature demons that they worship. Because, like I said, the fallen ones can shapeshift. And I don't think that... And they can take different entities, and that's who these governments have been dealing with. And, they can't admit that they've been deceived by these entities, and they have no other choice but to do what they say now. And that's the truth. What do you think all these deep underground bases are and all these government whistleblowers coming? You think that's all fake? Hell no, bro. They've been known. Most of that shit been there. The ancient Egyptians have legends about the underground caverns and subterranean creatures in there and all kinds of things. And where do you think they get concepts for Gears of Wars from? Why do you think it says in the end of days it'll be like the days of Noah? Because all this stuff is going to be made. It's all going to reach a head. It's the culmination in the end of this age of injustice, and everything has to go up. But we are saved. We got salvation, and that's what it is. They be like, "You're a racist." Oh, where does God say He's saving everybody, bro? He says He's saving the people that have suffered and the people that cleave to His people. That's who He's saving. That's it. That's it. Everybody else is on the hit list, on the shit list. And y'all earn that for yourselves. One, through your pride. We try to tell y'all the truth and y'all don't want to be told nothing. Y'all don't want to be told nothing. Y'all proud as hell. Y'all be in my comments proud as hell. Y'all some proud ass people. Proud for what? Slavery? Genociding an entire continent of people to possess their land? That's what y'all proud of. Y'all proud of the fantasies your ancestors told y'all. That's what y'all proud of. Take that pride and shove it right up your ass. All of y'all. Anyone like that, you got to. Because why? What are you proud of? When was America great for women? Never. When was America great for black people? Never. When was America great for, I don't know, anybody besides white men? Never, bro. So when you hear all these Christians and these Republicans talking about getting back to a day when America was a different land and we were just go-getters, and you talk about getting back to a day where you could easily live off the labor and the lands of other people. That's why the Bible talking about they selling you your own wood. Yeah, because they ripping. One, they're making bank out of here, bro. Benjamin Netanyahu has that quote where he said, like, America is the golden calf and we are selling it off and chopping it up. Something like that. You can look it up. Now, they'll say that's a conspiracy theory and all the fact checkers. And I got that problem too on my Facebook. All the fact checkers want to fact check everything I put out. Everything. And they downstream. Like, fuck you guys. All you fact checking fuckers. Fuck you. You don't get to decide what facts are. That's fucked up. They can decide what facts are. I posted that video of that astronaut woman in space, right? And you can see her hair is like frozen stuff. Like she gelled that bitch. Like stuck. And she's trying to say she's in zero gravity. And she looks like she has a harness on. They just banned they just blocked my account for posting to my own group for multiple days for that. No one even saw it. They took it down immediately. I'm like, come on. I can't even post to my own group. Because I said the astronaut hair looked fake. That's how you know I'm telling the truth. They just can't. They didn't even want to leave the video up. So they just took it down immediately. Because that has been circulating. and their fact checkers already said it's fake. But obviously you can see it's real. They have zero gravity flights, and this is the closest thing you'll ever get to zero gravity because gravity don't even exist. Everything is density. So it's hard to explain this. You gotta really look into this. But everything is truly density. Gravity does not exist. So they had a picture of a woman in that zero gravity flight, and like I said, gravity doesn't exist. That's what they call it. I guess zero density because you're I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not completely versed in that. No people are. You know, we don't like they claim like they understand gravity makes this and that. If gravity is real, then why isn't it crushing you? If it's strong enough to hold everything down in all the water, it should crush you. And that's the truth. If gravity is strong enough to hold all the water down to the earth, it should also crush you. And these people took my video down for pointing out I basically had this flight going with this girl in zero gravity flight, and you can see her hair going everywhere, all wild when the plane goes down and they're under zero gravity, right? And then I compared it to the astronaut at the International Space Station. And this is something people have done many times. I'm not the first one to do this. I just wanted my own video doing this, right? So I did it, and I uploaded it to the group I have. And they took it down immediately, and they restricted me from posting to my own group. Why? Why all that? Because it's true. And it's so obviously true that she has gel in her hair and she's not in space, and that's how her hair stays completely still. It's not even moving around. It's just like Frankenstein hair, like she got electrocuted. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and they took my video down, and they got some weird fact checker guy fact checking me. So now I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna put these videos up, and I'm gonna include their fact checker in like a humorous, strategic, funny way, so I can keep my videos up now. Just because they want to flag everything I said, because I can't have my own opinions. Because if I don't say what they say is facts on this platform and on YouTube's platform, I gotta go. And then what are they saying is facts? All bullshit. They know it all bullshit. Everything they ever said is bullshit. That's why like the algorithm always takes you to some bullshit. Like after my videos play on YouTube, watch what plays and you'll see it's the exact opposite. I've seen it. I have a video about Queen Khalifa in the history of California and how it was an island. I'm noticing one day I'm watching my own video. What plays after that? A video about California, how that's all a lie, and anyone who promotes that is basically uneducated. Right after my video, I'm like, that's crazy. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's how it works. It's just a big old scam. You know, the world is full of scams, man. And they make it real hard. Shout out to my sister. Shout out to Becky. What's up, Jeffrey? I see you. We're gonna minimize the comments. Yeah, but it's just so hard to like even put out content anymore. They really just can't compete with you. So what do? They gotta censor you. I mean, you know, you gotta cut off the dissent. You know what I mean? It's like George Orwell. It's like 1984 out here. You just do what they say and say what they do. That's why when you get in your social media feeds, it's always like TikTok and some weirdo dancing or some people doing some trendy dance, and they always got these trends to follow, and they got all the sounds that are trending and all these things that are trending because they don't want you to do your own thing. Because you might trend. They are literally trying to set the pace with these social media companies. That's why they're so busy with fact checking. When Facebook came out, there wasn't no fact checkers. You could say whatever you wanted on there. There wasn't no fact checkers. There wasn't nobody checking facts and saying you can't say that. And you can't even say it. You can't even have it as an opinion. That's the crazy part. You can't even have an opinion. Because they're going to fact check that shit. And if your opinion doesn't align with what freaking that rich, spoiled asshole Mark Zuckerberg and anybody who pays him enough money to have their narrative pushed says, then you gotta go. And it's the same shit. I was looking. Mark Zuckerberg is actually running and hiding. He's actually paying a whole lot of money to have a bunker built in Kauai. I was trying to find photos of it, but they got it all. It's so secretive that even if I found a photo, I'd probably be arrested for putting it out. Real shit. But all the workers there have signed this agreement to not disclose it, non-disclosure. So the real context is behind this is he tried to go to Kauai, which is an island off the coast of Hawaii. Well, it's an island next to Hawaii, right? One of the smaller islands. And he tried to buy the entire island and kick the natives off. Now, I don't know, a lot of you don't know, but Samoans are black people. They're people of dark skin. There was a lot of contention over that. Eventually, he failed. Hawaiian Cultural Society or some bullshit, which is tied to UNESCO, which is tied to hiding the history of what Hawaii is. If you guys ever read the Book of Mormon, we all know that the Red Sea is actually right here in North America, right? It used to be, it's now the Gulf of California, but it used to be the entire length of that side of the country. And it used to cut off California, used to be an island. Now, when you read the Book of Mormon, it's talking about before Jerusalem was destroyed, which is in Utah somewhere, right? The Most High led Lehi and his family away to another land to preserve their writings for them to come out these days, and that's the Book of Mormon. He led them away. At the end of the Book of Mormon, they're saying they're on the island of the sea, and they said they built a temple, and that temple was a replica of the Temple of Solomon, except it wasn't made of so many precious things because they were not available on the island, so they used natural materials on the island. If you look up the history of the Latter-day Saints Temple in Lehi, Hawaii, and they even named the island Lehi, so we know it was Lehi's family. Lehi and Lehi are pretty much the same thing. So they have a replica of the Temple of Solomon, and they're saying like Joseph Smith's son commanded them to like build it as a replica of the Temple of Solomon. But when you look up the history and look up what they had back then, there's no way the Latter-day Saints built that temple. It's made of crushed lava rock, like, and koa wood adornments. It's almost exactly how the Book of Mormon described the temple, and it's a replica of the Temple of Solomon. So when you start to figure out these, that's our land too. Hawaii, your land. Samoan land. So Samoans are of the tribe of Joseph according to the Book of Mormon. So when you start to figure this out, of course you're like, get the fuck off my land or respect me. But people don't want to hear that. But it's not going to matter because these natural disasters, y'all going to see all that. If this continues, the exploiting of the Aborigines of North America, then all this world is going to face the same judgment that Egypt faced. And that was small scale only in North America because people put Egypt over there. Egypt is here. Egypt is here. Egyptian maize is American corn. Okay? That's why corn is in the Bible. That's why they keep telling you that, oh, if you see corn in biblical text, it means any cereal grain. That means barley. That means wheat. That means anything. Now, we know the Bible clearly mentions corn and barley and wheat and all these things in a bunch of different contexts. Repeatedly in a bunch of different contexts, which means it differentiated between them. And if it differentiated between them, they're obviously talking about the corn that we know nowadays, which is the corn right in these fields out here. If you could see it, when I started my live, you could see the beautiful scenery of PA. I'm in the mountains. It's actually so beautiful there. I wish you guys could see it in the morning, because if you come out here in the morning, the hills are rolling over the mountains. The only place I've seen that's on par with this is Wyoming, and I seen that briefly. You know what I mean? But Wyoming is like that. But that's more in the land of Judah, because this is the most beautiful land on the planet. It's the most sought after land on the planet. They murdered tens of thousands of us for this land. We were the ones fighting in Tecumseh's war. We went to war with the French and the British, and we were the ones that Prince Philip was killing in his war and shipping down to Jamaica. And you hear about the Irish being shipped to Jamaica. Like, I don't want to offend white people, but the Irish are black too. When you hear about the Irish being shipped, there's a whole history of the Irish being shipped to Jamaica. Tens of thousands of them being exiled out of Ireland, being brought to Jamaica, and the Jews from Ireland too. But it's all the same thing, bro. We're the Aborigines of the planet. So as the Adamic humans and the first humans on the planet, we were everywhere. That's why Aboriginal came from the Hebrew word Aborishoni, which means the first to pass over. So there's a reference to Passover right there. You know what I'm saying? So you that's why the Catholic Church went around colonizing the whole world, signing the Doctrines of Discovery, papal bulls, and things like that. They gave them access to all the lands that they discovered in the Age of Discovery. And they still have control of these lands now. Everyone says, like, we should all just get over this. Fuck that. Fuck all that getting over shit. Fuck all that. You get over it. You get off the land. If you feel like that, get the fuck, go back to Europe. Go back to wherever the fuck Siberia, wherever the fuck y'all come from. If you, what do you mean get over it? We just stole all your land. Get over it. Oh yeah, you just gotta labor your whole life, and we've basically indebted your whole multiple generations for as long as we can. But you need to get over it. Yeah, we are in Nazi Germany, America. It's very, very the same thing. If you understand like the mind control that went down to make you passive and to not fight them, and all the stuff they had to do to you, they had to eject us to torture and brainwashing and all kinds of stuff to get us to not fight them, so they could keep our land. They tried to exterminate us. That's the damn truth. They tried to exterminate us. Do you see the multitude of white people on this land? There was a multitude of black people here before them. When they showed up, the first thing that happened was a lot of us died from diseases. We're not going to blame them for having diseases. We can't. They didn't even know about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But then they exterminated the rest of the survivors. And then they left a minority. They were like 15% of the population, because all over America there's mass graves where we're just buried from this conflict and that conflict. And they just bombed the whole city block of Black Panthers in Philadelphia. They literally bombed it with military equipment. They used military equipment against American citizens. That's how you know you're not a citizen. Whenever you click up and you want to be pro-black and pro your and real history, they're going to come and kill you. They're going to come and kill you, or they're going to do what they did to Malachi Yorkis. They're going to set you up and get you out of here. If anybody knows about Malachi Yorkis, you got to look that up. It's you got to also look up COINTELPRO. If you don't understand what COINTELPRO is, you won't understand why all these black leaders seem to either be super corrupt in the end or just scumbags, because they're setting them up. They have an agenda from the U.S. government. This has been admitted. This is all declassified, to infiltrate multiple groups. But one of them named was black indigenous groups, black, what they call black supremacist groups. When they call the Black Panthers a black supremacist group. But you seen what was happening to black people back in those days. You could get killed for being black. So they had groups to defend themselves, because the law wasn't defending them. We couldn't even get rights issued to. You see what I'm saying? But then they call them a black supremacist group. For what? So you've been killing me for centuries, and I say I'm going to make a group and protect myself and my people, and then you say that's a hate group. That's a hate group, a terrorist organ. Did they ever label the Klan a terrorist organization? Hell no. In 2021, they met in Williamsburg, right down the street from where I'm at right now. No problems. No one came there and told them that they were hateful or that this is wrong or nothing. They just had a meeting. Go do that down there as black people. See what happened to you. It's going to be a problem. And then they're going to send people that's going to fight and start all this shit. And they're going to be dressed like you and look like you. That's called agent provocateurs. That happens a lot. With anything that happens. So that's why I don't go to these things no more, because you realize, like, who are these people in the ski mask with the dreadlocks fucking telling people to punch cops and to fucking stab people to death? And that's what really goes on with these things. And you're like, oh, these are freaking government people. They're government people. And these people get bailed out too. Perfect example, January 6th. Now, I'm just honest. They were planning on blowing Trump and all his supporters sky high. This is the Democratic Party trying to keep control of their part of the Golden Goose. Yes, there were pipe bombs in that building. Yes, no, those headlines were all washed over. They never hit the news. Just like the bombs planted on the George Washington Bridge in the 9/11 emergency disappeared from the news permanently, because they have these little psyops, and they'll blow up a building and blame whoever and do whatever to get their point across. And that's what they were about to do at January 6th. But it turns out a bunch of people were arrested. A lot of those provocateurs that were arrested, those agent provocateurs, were released. That's a fact. That'll happen to the black community. That'll happen to the white community. That'll happen to any community that isn't with this global elite or funded by this global elite. So that's how you know. So if you're allowed to protest without anything, without any resistance or any people showing up to fuck up your protest or anything like that, then you know you were with the elite. That's really what happens. You think it's a game? That's what happened in the civil rights movements, man. They get some poor black man, they'll be like, man, you gotta go in there. I give you this much money. You go in there, go in that crowd of black people, start punching and throwing rocks at the cops and start doing this and that. Then we'll just take them all to jail after we beat them half to death. will say their protest is violent. Because you have a right to peacefully protest, but that doesn't mean that they won't show up and have somebody go crazy. That's why you like all these events and shit online and shit offline. I don't even want to go there and do that. I want to go like, you know, see Philadelphia, see the city, see the buildings, yeah, stuff like that by myself. Yeah, all this because people be trying to get you to go places and do. Hell no, all you people trying to ask me in my messenger. I don't know who y'all are. I don't trust y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? People be asking some weird stuff. This one lady tried to get me to like go to her homestead and like like I humored it just to see what she would say because you know I might get some good content out of it if I record the conversation. But she was like, "There's no water, there's no power, there's no nothing down there. We want you to go down there and we got some farm animals." I'm like, "Bro, if you don't even have running water, how you even farming animals? Like what?" But people be ridiculous, bro. That's why I'm saying don't be naive out in this world. Don't be naive. Because they will do something to you. These people will do something to you. Try to get you away from your comfort zone and into, what time is it? Because I got to work tomorrow. Let me check. Oh, yeah, it's not nothing. That's not nothing. Hey, Kisa. Yeah, that's a true statement. We are living in a Nazi Germany in America. You just don't realize it. They convinced you you're free. If you're black, you're at least free than anybody else in this country because this is your land. This is your land, and you should not be having to run 12 businesses and pay all this money for rent. And where the fuck they do that at? Tell them to go back to their land. That's what we need to start telling them. Like, get the fuck off our land. You look at your landlord. What is he Aboriginal? Is he Native American? A real Native American? If he's not, he don't need to be charging you shit to live here, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Get the fuck out of here. All these people, especially Jewish people. I can't say that word too much, but you know they own everything. You know they own everything and controlling everything. And all the Fortune 500 companies, and all the big shit. All of them. That's the synagogue of Satan. That's why the world's so fucked up and selfish and all this shit. Because they want to have you fighting over pennies. We don't even need to work. Like, for half the shit we work for, power, all that shit, our cities were producing power long before Europeans came here. There was power. There was an industrial society here before they came here. These concepts were figured out by the ancients. We had them for a long time. That's why when they colonized America in such a short period of time, because it relatively is such a young nation, became such a powerhouse in technology and industry. Because really, really, we know from, if you're doing your correct research, this is the continent of Atlantis, and yes, Atlanteans, etheric energy, all that was here. Tesla always said, "I knew the secrets of the Egyptians." So if you study Tesla never went to Egypt. And before I figured out that America is that thing, I couldn't never figure that out. I always ran across that, like, because I was trying to figure out what Tesla knew. Turns out it's way simpler than you think. You could just put a copper rod in the air, and as long as you elevate it high enough from where you are, you're gonna have this difference in opposing magnetic forces that will generate electric current down that copper wire. A lot of these buildings are still set up to do it. A lot of these buildings, you see the top, you would think it's a ground wire, but no, it's not a ground wire. These buildings are harnessing electricity still to this day, a lot of them, and they have just ran the electricity to the ground because they want to make you pay for it. There was a paradise here, and they just fucked it up and put this ugly shit that you gotta pay for it, bro. There was cars before they came here, and they didn't need. There was electric cars that ran with alternators that ran in the 1920s. Okay. What they're doing and all this new fancy technology they're showing you is all really old shit that they are repurposing and that they re-engineer it to make it profitable for themselves. So instead of like your Tesla right now having an alternator in it and you not having to pay to drive around, no, they're gonna make you hook it to your electric grid, and we burn fossil fuels to power the electric grid. So we're not really solving anything. You see what I'm saying? When they claim with all that, and that's all a bunch of nonsense too, all that fossil fuel nonsense. The carbon we're releasing out of our cars ain't hurt nothing. The planet's made out of carbon. There's a carbon cycle. We're actually in a low carbon cycle right now. That's actually why things on the planet are smaller. When the planet was first created, we're about 6,000 years, according to what I believe, and the real biblical interpretation. The planet is only like about 6,000 years old, going on at 7,000 years soon, and that last 1,000 years would be the millennial reign of Christ. That's what the Bible talks about. That new kingdom, that new earth, that new. This is what it's talking about. but it's gonna be right here. Like, you guys aren't gonna believe it, bro. Like, that shit is gonna happen right in front of your eyes, and everyone's gonna know. That's why the Most High is always saying, like, all the earth will see him show up, because he's gonna roll up here in something spectacular, and the government's gonna try to shit on him. What is he gonna do? He's gonna gather all his people, and he's gonna give them what he promised. And then a lot of people think that God's just gonna destroy them. A lot of people are just gonna die from the embarrassment and all the lies they believe. They're not gonna be able to talk to anybody. They're gonna be like, oh shit, and I hated them people my whole life. I can't go over there and ask them for shit. That's how it's going to be. And people will say they don't hate you, and they won't say directly they hate you, but, like, if y'all don't hate us, why is all of history a lie? Like, you see what I'm saying? They never hated us. Nigga, this shit wouldn't be like this. You would know that you're in your own land, and you would be lord of your own land, and not some freaking foreigners. But when you tell them this, they feel offended, like you're a racist. When you tell them this, they feel offended like you're a racist. And I don't even care no more. Say I'm a racist. Go ahead. Do whatever you want. Say whatever you want. Y'all been saying whatever y'all want for centuries. That's why they call us African Americans. Name one people named after two continents. They just started making shit up to call you that so they don't have to give you what's yours. But if you pay attention, like, there was this guy in California, and they know, like, he was black. He claimed to be indigenous. He could prove it through his birth record. A lot of us can prove it. When we start to figure out if you know who your great grandmother is, I can prove it. I'll do a video one day when I go down my ancestry chart, and I'll just do videos like that, and then maybe I'll take some money to do other people's ancestry charts. But I could show you guys where in the census records, our family, which was under a different name at that time, because, you know, a lot of our last names keep changing because we take our father's name, and, you know what I'm saying, or we might not get our father's name, but it went from, you know, a certain, you know, Aboriginal title to a black title. And the census report showed this. Bam, bam, and they just paper genocided you. Now you don't know. Now the school is going to teach you that you're African, and that you should feel grateful that the white man brought you here, and you're not living in Africa where it's terrible right now. Why is Africa so bad right now? That don't got nothing to do with white people, right? But it does. But if you tell them that, they get offended. It's because your nations, like Europe, all the European nations, and America, and Australia, and any other nation that is white, is exploiting Africa for all of its resources. They'll blame that on us, and the leaders will be like, no, there's been plenty of African leaders that tried to build up their country off their resources. They died. All of them have died. And that's not even ancient Africa. That's the place they renamed to be. This is really ancient Africa. Okay? Look up the American Colonization Society. They shipped tens of thousands of our people down there. And even before that, even before the American Colonization Society, Columbus kicked off the transatlantic slave trade with Native American Indians. And that's in his own writings. He was selling them in Spain and Seville. When you look it up, he wrote a book called Christopher Columbus's Book of Prophecy, where he said he was coming to the Indies to conquer Jerusalem and the Israelites and to retake the land. He put it all out there because he was proud of what he was doing back then. They don't want you to read that book, because then you'll know, like, oh, wait. Did y'all hear about India changing its name back to Bharat or Bharat? Because it was either called Hindustan or Bharat. Those are two names for that country called India. Columbus came here looking for India and China and all those places. So, like, all those nations with those names are literally not those places. They're all here, bro. I'm telling you, they're all here. They got an old map from the 1500s that got Cuba labeled as Capango. Now, Cuba is a anglicized, I want to say anglicized, like a Euro-Spanicized name of Capango. And when you look up Capango, it's the ancient name for Japan. Go to oldmaps.com. All these old maps give it up. That's when you understand you are in Asia Major here. And that area they call Asia Minor, they just started assigning histories to it so you could believe it. Yep. And they need you to believe it, because if you don't go and believe this nonsense they're putting out, you'll be free in your mind. And you won't be limited by them anymore. Like, a lot of the things we believe that are scientific are just limitations imposed on us by men. Like, you can't, what's it, the theory of conservation of energy? Like, you can only get as much energy out as you put in? That's a big lie. There's devices that proved it. Bro, there's plenty of things that have proved it. That I forget what it's called. That pendulum thing that hits one ball and it taps the rest and knocks the other one back, and it won't stop until you stop it. That's an example of continuous energy. It just keeps going until someone stops it. If you could hook an alternator to it somehow, it would generate continuous energy. You see what I'm saying? So they teach you this theory of not relativity, conservation of energy. So you don't even try because you've been taught since you were a kid like this can't be done and that can't be done. And they taught you science in school, and their science is completely opposed to what you can observe in nature, because science should be based off of what you can observe in nature, which is creation. So science should be the study of creation. Instead, they say science is the study of the natural world. They take God right out of that. See what I'm saying? The natural world. Like there can be a natural world without a creator or a creation. But I'm telling you, they set up all these things to make you think all these things are opposing. They want you to think all these things are opposing. Like science and religion can't go together, even though they're one and the same. And they compartmentalize people's minds to control them. And as much like a corporation, corporations do terrible, horrible things, but most people working for them don't know because they're just doing one part that's not so terrible and horrible. See what I'm saying? And that's how this whole control thing works. But I really got to get out of here, family. I'm going to get some coffee. I'm going to prepare to release my other video. Look for this on YouTube later. I'm going to live stream it. If you want to go watch it again, I don't know why you would, but if you want to, go right ahead. Shalom, family. Yeah, and it's always been Turtle Island. We've always been the Indigenous, Native American, Tecumseh type Indians. Peace, family. Now I don't want to close.